Greetings from Ann Arbor, Michigan. I'm Fernando Florking. I'm with Michigan Language Assessment, and we're going to be, together with my colleague Emily, giving you an overview of the examination for the Certificate of Competency in English, or ECCE. This is an outline of this brief video. We'll provide an overview. We'll talk about each of the 4 skills that the test evaluates, and some tips about, share some resources about ECCE preparation. What is the ECCE, or the examination for the Certificate of Competence in English? It's a high-stakes, secure English proficiency test aimed at the B2 level of the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. ECCE provides a reliable and widely recognized certification for a variety of different purposes that learners around the world use to certify their level of English proficiency. Again, it's aimed at the B2 level of English proficiency, a high intermediate level. It's been offered since 1993, and ECCE does not expire. You will have a certification of your language proficiency that you will enjoy for your life. So what does the test consist of? The total time you will have for the test will be 2 hours and 45 minutes. It has 4 sections: the writing, listening, reading, and speaking section of the test. Writing, you have different options, but you will have 1 task to be completed within 30 minutes. The listening section, you will have 45 minutes to answer 45 questions divided into 2 different parts: short conversations and short talks. The reading section has grammar, vocabulary, and reading passages with a total of 65 questions to be completed within 75 minutes. And the speaking section is administered separately from the rest of the exam with an oral examiner. It consists of 4 stages, and it will take about 15 minutes. So let's start with ECCE writing.
Hello, I'm Emily Clifford. I'm the Academic Services Manager at Michigan Language Assessment, and I'm going to talk to you about what's on the ECCE writing section. So as Fernando said, ECCE writing is 1 task and you have 35 minutes to complete it. But you do have a choice of tasks to complete. You will either have an email or a letter, or you can choose the essay option. And every ECCE has a choice of task 1 or task 2. There is no word limit for ECCE writing. Instead, you need to focus on making sure that your response is well developed and your ideas are really, really well supported with reasons and examples, and you're using your most advanced vocabulary and grammar. And the ECCE writing section is evaluated by our trained raters. Now, here's an example of what you'll see in ECCE writing. You can see you have task 1 there, which is an email, or you can choose task 2, which is an essay. And you do have some bullet points there to sort of guide your writing as you start writing in your test. To prepare for ECCE writing, it's a really good idea to make sure that you're spending some time reading the news so you can get an idea of topics that are current affairs, and get used to reading a variety of different types of writing on different topics. Practice explaining and supporting your opinion on different topics, and try explaining whether you disagree or agree with an opinion or a statement that you read. Now, ECCE is rated by our trained raters, as I said. You can view the rating scale that you can see here on the screen by scanning that QR code. That will take you straight to a PDF version of the writing scale. As you prepare for ECCE, it's a really good idea to really make sure you're familiar with this rating scale so you understand exactly what our raters are looking for when they're marking your work. And some resources that can help you prepare even further for your writing section. You've got 2 writing resource packs available on our website. These can be downloaded for free. They're PDF documents, so you've got the QR codes there to scan and download these. You've got examples of written responses, examiner commentary, and some practice prompts as well. So let's talk about the listening section. ECCE listening has 2 parts and it lasts for 45 minutes. In part 1, you will hear 25 short conversations that are all multiple choice questions, but you will see the answer options are 3 images. So there's no reading involved. You just listen to the conversation and choose the picture that best suits the question. In listening part 2, you will hear 4 short talks by a single speaker. And again, these are followed by multiple choice questions with 4 answer options each. There are 20 questions and you will hear each of these talks twice. And because all of the questions in ECCE listening are multiple choice, the listening section is scored automatically by computer. Just to show you what we mean, here's what listening part 1 looks like. So you have the instructions there on the right, which lets you know what you're going to be hearing and what you need to do. And then each question will show 3 different images as your answer options, and you choose A, B, or C. To prepare for ECCE listening, I'm going to just skip that, ignore me. ECCE listening part 1 is short conversations. The conversations will be in a variety of different contexts, in different relationships. You won't have any written text to read, and you'll be tested on your ability to understand main ideas, specific details, and inferring meaning where something is not said directly in the passage. In ECCE listening part 2, you will hear 4 short talks, and after each talk, you will hear 5 questions about it. You will have time to look at those questions before you hear the passages, then I highly recommend reading through those questions before it starts speaking so that you know exactly what you're listening for. You will hear each talk twice, and then you will have to answer the questions. There will be a choice of 4 answer options for each of these questions. As with listening part 1, the questions will test your ability to understand main ideas or the gist of the passage. You will be tested on your ability to answer specific information that's stated in the passage. And finally, you may encounter questions that test your understanding of implicit ideas, that is, ideas that are not directly stated in the passage. And Fernando is going to talk us through ECCE reading and speaking.
So, ECCE reading. This section has 3 parts. It begins with a grammar part, it continues with vocabulary section, and then you will have the actual reading comprehension sections. For the grammar part, you will have 15 multiple choice grammar questions with 4 answer options in each case, where you will provide the correct word or phrase to complete the questions. For the vocabulary section, you will have multiple choice items as well with 4 options, and you will choose the best one for each blank. In the reading section, you have 2 parts, a single and multiple reading passages that are both followed by multiple choice questions. I'll show you a couple of examples in a minute. The reading section is scored automatically by computer, since all of them are correct or incorrect answers. This is an example of a grammar type of items that you will see where you have the blanks within a sentence, a statement, with 4 different options. These are examples, similar examples of vocabulary items for ECCE, all aiming at the B2 level or high intermediate level of proficiency. So vocabulary will be an important skill that you will need to develop at this point. This is the first example of the reading passage. This is a single text passage where you will read an informational passage and you will answer a series of questions related to that. There will be questions about main ideas, about details, and some inferences, as Emily was explaining. The second type of reading is multiple text passages, where you will see, as in this case, 4 different passages about the same topic, and you will have questions about individual sections of one of those sections of the reading, and there might be questions that might be referring to more than one, so you will have to connect ideas mentioned in more than one of the sections of this part of the reading comprehension section. And the last part is the speaking section of the ECCE. This is conducted separately with a trained examiner, and it will be scheduled at a separate time from your main ECCE test date. During the ECCE speaking test, this will be following a structured multi-stage series of tasks that you will be conducted as you're interacting with an examiner. You will be asking and answering questions, following the prompt and the examples that you're provided. I will show you an example. You will provide suggestions or recommendations on a certain topic, You will present and justify a decision, and then you will discuss the topic following a few questions from the examiner. So this is an example of a prompt that you will receive as an ECCE test taker, where you will be provided with a certain situation that needs to be addressed with two different options that are illustrated by those pictures. There's a list of questions that you should be asking about to learn more about that situation. Then when you have all that information, you will have to explain what option you think might be best in that particular context and why, providing justification or supporting your opinion. And at the end, you will be interacting with the examiner to talk in more detail about certain topics related to that context. The rubrics to evaluate your oral proficiency during the ECCE are on our website. You can see the example here. It will be evaluated on your overall communication effectiveness, your language control and resources, and your delivery and intelligibility. You can scan the QR code here to access the rubrics or rating scale for the ECCE there. And for test preparation, additional information, Emily will continue.
Thank you, Fernando. So let's talk about some resources you can use to help prepare for ECCE. On our website, we have a preparation resource library that's available for free. And if you scan that QR code that you can see on the screen there, you can visit the preparation resource library and download some sample tests with answer keys and example writing resource packs. You can also find our preparation guide for teachers. If you're a teacher that will be preparing test takers to take ECCE, that preparation guide is for you. I wanted to give you an example of what's on the writing resource pack specifically. So you can see the table of contents there. You've got some information and advice about how to reach that B2 level in writing, how to format and structure your writing, and how the writing section is scored. And then you've got some example responses to emails and example responses to essays, and some extra prompts for you to take away and practice with yourself. There's some guidance, some suggestions for how to improve your score, and also some general exam advice as well for how to make sure you're going to do your best on test day. So that's it from us today. Thank you so much for watching. And if you want to reach out to us, if you have any questions that we didn't answer today, please do email us at info@michiganassessment.org or follow us on social media. You can reach out to us there too. And don't forget, our website is michiganassessment.org, where you'll find those preparation resources and more information about ECCE. So from Fernando and myself, thank you very much for joining, and I wish you a great rest of your day.